when you buy electricity for your house, you're trading. So what I'm going to be talking about today is trading in the markets. What do you need? I boiled it down to 5 things. First thing you need is the correct perspective. Without the correct perspective, you're not going to be successful. You have to have knowledge. Now, those of you who have gone to college and got a degree, it's going to be real easy for you because you've learned how to learn. You've been practicing learning. You need a broker. You need an account. And of course, you need money. Okay, Scotty, what does that say?
Opportunity is now. Nowhere. Nowhere.
Perspective, right? Perspective. Opportunity is nowhere, or it could be opportunity is now here. It depends on how you look at it. So perspective is very important. The correct perspective is that time plus investment is profit, okay? It's not gambling. Remember I said gambling is taking a chance. If you gamble on the markets, you're going to look at it and you're going to say, I think today it's going to go up. And you're going to get in, and what happens if it goes down? You've lost, right? Or if you get in at the top and it goes down, you're going to take a loss. It's like buying a new car. You buy the new car and you take a loss over the years, right? In that case, time plus investment doesn't equal profit when you buy a new car. So investing versus gambling. Investing is when you invest your money and it grows. Like when you buy your house, most likely the price is going to go up. I'm going to show you later, if we have 3 more sessions, I'm going to show you how to get profit out of the market. Okay, what's the market made up of? The market is made up of millions and billions of people making trades every single day. And the way that I put it is, every day a big pot is put out with billions of dollars. And if you know how to reach in and grab as much as you want, you can. You can grab out as much as you want, if you know how to do it. So you have to remember that the market is a bunch of people, and basically it's you, because everybody's trading. If you can get in the same way that everybody else is going, you're going to make money. The other thing is that you are your own worst enemy. Everybody here has one thing that that somebody cannot take away from you, which is choice. You make your own choices. You can't blame it on anybody else. Even if somebody has influence over that choice, it's your choice. A lot of times, if you're like me, you make bad choices, and you have to take responsibility for those choices. So you have to remember that you are your own worst enemy. And then money. Money at the most basic level, all it does is give you more options. It does nothing else. And you can use it for good things, or you can use it for bad things. You can use it to buy a house. You can use it to buy drugs, right? A couple songs. Anybody who's as old as me remembers ABBA and Money?
Yeah.
If in the rich man's world, money, 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 always sunny. That's what we think, because we don't have a lot of money, right? A lot of us aren't that rich. That's why we're working. All the things I could do if I had a little money it's a rich man's world. It really isn't a rich man's world, because people who have little money are not as happy, or maybe happier than people with money. So money is not going to buy happiness. You probably heard that. And then Pink Floyd, he says, money, it's a crime. Share it fairly, but don't take a slice of my pie. And then he says, money is the root of all evil today. So he's saying, yeah, you can use it for the good or you can use it for the bad. So you have to keep that in mind, Don't be greedy. Okay, knowledge. Like I said, if you've been learning to learn, it's going to be easy for you to learn because you've been practicing learning. if I took each one of you as an individual, and we went out to the field, and I gave you a bat, and I pitched the ball to you, I bet you in an hour, at the end of the hour, you'll be hitting more balls and missing it. So learning to learn how to read charts. Charts, the market talks to you. I'll show you how that works. There's indicators. When you drive your car, you put the gas on. There's an indicator that says how fast you're going. There's an indicator that says how hot your engine is. There's the little lights that tell you there's a problem. Indicators. And then tools. There's all sorts of tools to make you successful. We're in the computer age. People want to make money by selling you a tool, but there's a lot of free tools you can use. And we're going to get into that at a later date. So that's knowledge. David. It's stuck. Where do I can go? Doesn't want to go. Okay, thank you. Broker. What is a broker? It says it right there. What does a broker do? He makes you broker. You remember what I said when I first started? I had a really good broker. How come I'm not using him anymore? Because he made me broker. In the old days, there's no way you could trade without a broker. You still need a broker today, but you can trade on the market. How do you want to trade? If you trade with a broker, you get charged more. If you trade electronically, you get charged less. Those are cost-associated fees. When you trade on one market, it can cost one price. If you trade on another market, it's going to cost less. Just depends on what market you're trading. We're going to get into that. Skip the one. Now it's going forward. And then money. We talked about money, right? You can start with as little as $100. Actually, you can start with $5, but you have to find a stock that is only $5 or less. And then you have to learn to manage your money. And we're going to get into that. You get into market, you put a stop, that limits your loss. Or you get into options, that limits your loss. Okay, so what are the rewards? You hear about people making lots of money, right? During the Depression, for every trade, for every winner, there's a loser. So not everybody lost in the Depression. There were millions of losers, but there were not millions. There were some that made all the money. And I know that because I talked to some people firsthand. There's a guy, a salesman, he sold yachts during the Depression. I said, who would buy a yacht in the Depression? Nobody had money. He said, that's not true. Lots of people had money. They had way more money than they wanted. So for every winner, there's a loser. So the other thing is what are you willing to do? How much are you willing to sit down and learn? The key is knowledge. So, how are you reading that? What is your perspective? Is it time? Now, in the next couple sessions, I'm going to cover, the next session is charts. How does the market talk to you? Then you get into tools. And then the last one is how to get started. The last session, session 5, is how to get started. Okay, I just want to open it up to just a couple of minutes for questions. Anybody have any questions? Janet?
Well, I just finished reading a book yesterday called The 24 Investing Tips. And it's by the guy that founded Investors Business Journal. And after about 160 pages, well, it didn't take that long, I figured out that it was about 165 pages of advertising for a subscription to Investors Business Journal, which I think is probably really valuable, and I will take a look at it. But some of these books are just not, so you were talking about thirst for, having to do some research and study. Be careful the books you buy, guys.
So
They
what's
might
your
be
question?
advertisements. That's all, it was just a comment.
Okay.
It might just be
Yeah,
advertisements.
you have to remember the best way to trade is to keep it simple. And people sell books, and I read a book and it had all these mathematical equations, and it was way, way more complicated. Trading is a real simple thing, and I can show you how to do that. Any other questions? Okay, well, thank you very much. Turn it over to you.
calling. I think you should be a broker. I really enjoyed your speech. I think you did a very good job of explaining your definition of trading, and it fit into the whole inverse pyramid scheme. And I especially liked the way you used the PowerPoint presentation and your example of perspective with the word, or the words that were all run together that said opportunity is either nowhere or now here. I thought that was very, very clever. I like that. You clearly explained the product or the service. I would have liked to have heard just a little more specifics, but you know, maybe that's a subject, kind of a detailed subject for another speech. The use of the songs in the lyrics was a nice touch. That worked well with ABBA and Pink Floyd. I think it helps people relate to it. Plenty of great comparisons. And I especially like the humor that you brought to it with brokers make you broker. I was going to say the audience responded to that, and they responded again. That was good. You handled the technical difficulty with the PowerPoint with aplomb. You did a nice job there. At the end, you know, I can't really find much fault with the speech. At the end, it seemed like maybe you were a little bit rushed, and maybe it wasn't as smooth as it could have been, but not really, not much. You know, and I don't know. It seemed like you practiced it, you know, quite a bit, so you knew your subject. And I like the way, although it was quite short, I like the way you handled the Q&A. You kind of took control of that and did a good job of that. As far as, there's a list of objectives here, and one that I think bears mentioning, it was the proposal organized according to the inverted pyramid, and I think you did an excellent job on that, and because you definitely went from the general to the specific. So, nice speech. Thank you.